Starry-eyed rumblings.
Helix Bane deposits the body of the brain liquor in the corridor, where there is a little more light. The creature is indeed human, likely another abomination crafted on the research vessel. A man, dressed in simple ship attire. Beyond checking for possible weapons or dangers upon the creature, the only aspect Helix Bane truly takes note of are the array of small growths on the creature's bald head. For a moment, the reminder of the biological growths growing atop the containers in the spire. They cover the entire head, and there seem to be some smaller growths, presumably having sprouted more recently, and older, larger growths, some of which have burst and left a purple-black stain on the scalp. Helix Bane clamps her hand down around the creature's mouth and nostrils as she creates a sleeping poison. Potency set to put a horse to sleep. Better safe than sorry. She then gets up and moves to the second of the unconscious beings, the homeless messiah, still snoozing away. Helix Bane places a single finger against his forehead and applies a little pressure. After 30 seconds, he awakens with a start and a gasp, recoiling back and putting his hand to his forehead. What? You. Helix Bane gives him a little time to recover before asking, "Do you have a weapon?" At this question, Data goes still, seeming to forget about his previous panicking and his current situation. "I do, but I don't use it. Emergencies only." He says this while reaching over to his helmet, not making eye contact. Helix Bane replies, "This is an emergency." To which Data begins to fumble with his helmet and delays answering. As he does so, Helix Bane sits back and waits, and then it dawns on her. "You've got a gun." To which Data grits his teeth and winces. Helix Bane was correct. The fool has brought a gun on his ship. Helix Bane resists the urge to slowly put her hands around his neck and let it burn, only because a gun might actually prove useful in their current situation. Data finally figures out a response. "It's only emergencies. I've never used it. Just no good with weapons, martial weapons, that is. I know the rules. But the mission that I'm on, I might need to make hard choices. And I've got no martial training, so I'm using the only option available to me." Helix Bane is not impressed. As the homeless messiah was lecturing earlier, war and weapon technology is the most advanced in the Forge. That being the case, body armor had improved to the point where ballistic weapons would barely leave a scratch. That being the case, weapons likewise had to increase in damage output. That being the case, the more advanced weapon technologies, such as the Gravex Rift and Necrocoil weapons, are not only strong enough to break down the armor of current times, but also make short work of ship interiors. That being the case, and human temperament being as it is, not many wish for a hole to be punched through their ship in the middle of the black emptiness of the Forge by some fool that couldn't aim or couldn't handle their emotions. That being the case, there is a Forge-wide rule. that personnel do not carry firearms upon ships, nor is there firearm warfare upon ships. Any warfare or combat taking place upon ships is fought old school, hack and slash. Anyone that broke this rule would have a significant bounty on their head, one that was deemed by the guild that they were dangerous enough to kill on sight. None of it made sense to Helix Bane. The ships themselves could carry weapons that were immensely more powerful than the firearms people could carry. But the rules seemed to be wrapped up in politics, and so Helix Bane didn't pay much attention. She just followed the rules, most of the time. She addressed his data again. I found the thing that was attacking you. I'm going to interrogate it. I need you to be on standby with your weapon. Data looks uncomfortable and takes his time responding. And when he finally does so, he simply nods. Helix Bane doesn't move. She remains where she is until he locks eyes with her. Then she repeats, I need you to be on standby. If the creature gets agitated, you pull the trigger. Looking into his eyes, Helix Bane makes sure that he knows if he fails or chickens out, he better pull the trigger on her, because you will not be happy.